steep stuff, it really helps get your seat down and out of the way. I've got a dropper post so I can whack it down. If you've got quick release, it's well worth getting out of the way. You need to think about really dropping your weight to the back of the bike on the steep stuff. Think about moving your hips, just using your feet. You should be really heel down.
Braking is really limited by the traction available. You need to modulate your brakes evenly, being very careful not to grab too much of front brake and causing your front wheel to wash out. As you can see here, tyre choice is critical. A semi-slip might be great for rolling resistance, but you're going to really struggle with it on this loose terrain. As you can see under Neil, the bike is moving around a lot and he's really having to work against it and modulate his braking.
Commitment's really important on steep stuff because once you've dropped in, it can be really hard to stop and that can make things a lot worse. You want to try and keep the wheels turning, keep those brakes working effectively, and if your wheel does lock up, try and come off that brake for a split second to get that wheel turning again. Once that becomes instinctive, it's really effective.
As you can see, there are two definitive lines. I am taking the inside on the entrance to the main right-hand turn, carrying more momentum and opening up the main corner so I can accelerate down the trail and maintain my speed. Bear in mind, rocks and roots on flatter ground can be fair game. When the going gets steeper, they can be more difficult obstacles. Don't be a hero and keep her on two wheels. If the trail is extremely steep, like a rock roll or a chute, it's so much so that you cannot see over the top. It's a good idea, get off your bike and come and have a look. Inspect the line, see where you're going to go. One of my top tips is to place in this case two sticks, right at the top as a guide so you know that if you hit this line, you'll be safe and won't end up in a heap at the bottom.
Whilst you can ride steep stuff on pretty much any bike, there are a few different bike setup things you can change to make it a bit easier. Here, Size bike is a bit more of a cross-country orientated trail bike. It's got really low profile tyres, they're going to roll really fast, relatively long stem on there, and he's got the fixed seat post. It's nice and high, really efficient for pedalling. Coming over to my bike, it's better set up for riding downhill basically. I've got the tyres that are much bigger, a lot more tread on there. It's just going to mean that my brakes are really going to work properly because I'm going to get that grip. A seat, I've got a dropper post so I can get my weight right back behind that seat.
Often I'd go up a little bit on the pressure on the front fork just to prevent the dive in and that dreaded over the bars. Another little one that you can do is take the headset cap off, remove the spacer and replace it under the stem. Brings the bars up a little bit, allows you to get your weight back and therefore you're not going to go over the bars. Secondly, the shock. I tend to run a little bit more sag or perhaps go down the spring rate if you're running a coil shock. Allows the bike to sit down a little bit more, slackens the head angle out a bit and therefore you don't go over the bars.
So there's some top tips on steep descents. You're going to want to keep your weight low into the back of the bike and braking is obviously super important, so don't come in too fast. For some more tips on descending, click up here.
And some tips on climbing, click down here. And also don't forget to subscribe at us at GMBN.